It's your boy Mullah. This week got that fat. We back with another one. It's another PPP loan scam, fraud, whatever you want to call it. The news people is going to these people's supposed to be business, and they trying to see if the money being spent right. People, wow. All right, so let's find this out together. Here we go.
So we began knocking on doors trying to find out how in the last days of April did these people get
Look,
approved
20
for
bands,
tens
20
of
bands,
thousands
20
of
bands,
dollars
20
each in
bands, 20 bands,
PPP,
20, 20,
the
20.
federal government's payroll protection program. First thing we found out was many of them didn't live in the address they filed under, which, according to property records, have different owners. He doesn't live here?
I didn't approve him to use my address. No. He don't stay here.
Really? Really, people? Just because you gave the wrong address, that don't mean your social security number don't go with the address, bro. Oh man, these people so slow.
All right, so on the PPP loan application, clearly there's information that they're asking about. They're asking about information about the business, your address, all that type of information. So apparently these people think just because they put an address where they don't actually live, they think maybe the government won't be able to catch up with them. But understand that your address is just one piece of information that they asked for on the PPP loan
Your social
application. So you would have had to given them your name, you would have had to give them your social security number, and some sort of banking information, because a lot of times these loans are direct deposit. I haven't really heard of anyone getting a check in the mail. These are normally a direct deposit type of loan funding. So they have enough information on you. Just because you put down someone else's address does not mean you're going to get away with this. You gave them your name, you gave them your social security number, you gave them bank account information, so they'll be able to track you down. It's not that hard, people.
So easy, genius. Oh, I was just gonna put the wrong address down, but you got all your main government information to them, and you think they ain't gonna find you? Okay.
So you're not really being very smart by thinking you're going to get away with a federal crime because you gave the government the wrong address, even though you would have had to give them the right name and social security number. So let's think about this before we act.
All the recipients filed as sole proprietors, meaning they own and operate a business generally by themselves. Each of them claimed the maximum and forgivable loan of $20,833, saying they would have done at least $100,000 worth of business in the year if not for COVID. Several listed those businesses as barbers and hairstylists, but we checked. None of them operate a shop or are licensed by the state as barbers or cosmetologists as required by law.
See that, people? None of them. Like, y'all thought they weren't gonna check on y'all because there's too many people doing it. So, like, hey, they'll never catch me. Okay.
Including a woman who...
What OJ say? I'm not black, I'm OJ. Okay.
claims to live at this address, who got approved for two maximum loans of more than $40,000 as a hairstylist.
Two of them joints. You do have. Okay.
Well, she's getting a loan from this address. Is she a hair cutter?
Hair cutter.
Or the man who lives here who filed for $20,000 in loans, even though we verified he's not licensed and has no shop. Neighbors say they don't know of him ever cutting anyone's hair, but he, like several others, did not come to the door.
All right, so I want to bring it back a little bit and explain why are they all getting the same dollar amount, right? Why are all these barbers and beauticians, why are they all getting the same dollar amount? Here is why. So when President Biden signed that third stimulus bill, they had within the law new updates on how a sole practitioner, someone who did not have employees outside of themselves, how they would be able to apply for the PPP loan. Now, the way that they have it set up, it's going to be based on your total income from that business that you're a sole practitioner of. And they're going to take a look and see how much money did you make for the year, right? So how much money did you make for the year? Divide that by 12 to get how much money you made per month. And then you'll multiply that number by 2.5, 2.5 months. And that is your PPP loan amount. The reason why they're all getting the same amount is because they're all going for the max. So the maximum amount of money that you could claim on the application would be $100,000. So you're saying that if it was not for COVID, you would have made around $100,000. Okay. So you divide 100,000 by 12, then you multiply that by 2.5, and what you get the maximum amount that they were getting. So here is, I think I have it pulled up here. You can see the way that the PPP loan was set up. So as you can see, the limit was saying that your limit of compensation was a salary of $100,000. So they're saying that they were going to make $100,000 from their business.
Mm-hmm.
Then you would have to, divide by 12, multiply by 2.5, and what that comes out to be, it comes out to be $20,833. So this is why. This is why they're all getting the same amount, because they're all claiming the maximum amount of $100,000 of an annual salary from their business. But here's the issue. The government is going to be able to find out that you really didn't have a business, especially these people who are picking a profession that requires that you are licensed. How can you claim that you're a barber that makes $100,000 a year, but yet you're not licensed as a barber, right? I mean, this is common sense stuff. I mean, you should have, I would never promote, let me be clear, I would never promote scamming the government. But if you were trying to attempt to scam the government, why would you pick something that was so easily
to find out
that that's not what you do? You can't be making $100,000 a year as a legitimate barber if you're not licensed to be a barber. They can go online. This news reporter was able to easily go online, find the list of all the people who applied for a PPP loan. They're able to see how much money you got from the PPP loan. They were even able to see what you claimed as your job, your business that you own. And then they were able to go online to the government website for the state to see who all has a license for that job. And you're not on the list. So if the reporter, and I'm sure the reporter it probably took less than an hour. It probably took less than an hour for this reporter to double check and see who's on the list. They say they're a barber. They're not really a barber. It doesn't take the IRS that long to really find out, hey, this person says that they're a barber. They say that they normally make $100,000 a year. But I can look at all their past tax returns, and it shows that they never claimed being a barber, that they never claimed that they had a small business. They never had any of these things. It's not going to be hard to catch these people. It's not going to be very hard at all. I mean, this is ridiculous. This is ridiculous.
This house is vacant and abandoned, but a woman who claims to live here is getting $20,000 as a self-employed food service contractor.
You're a self-employed food service contractor in a abandoned building. Really? Like really, people? All right.
A lot of them aren't licensed, and some of the places are abandoned, and some of the people basically are non-existent. We brought our findings to the attention of Braddock Police Chief Guy Collins, who began his own investigation, knocking on doors and finding his own evidence of possible fraud. We're finding out there's a lot of people out here are so-called businesses that they don't exist, and apparently they've been applying for this PPP money, and they've been receiving it. Is there something we can help you with? According to records, a woman who states this as her address filed for $20,000 as a caterer. I spoke with a man who says he is her stepfather, who found that surprising. Says she's a caterer. She says she's a caterer? Right. She caterer? Not that I know of. The chief says he is turning this over to the U.S. Attorney's Office for investigation, believing there is an organized fraud ring operating in his town. If you have that many people in this general area, I would say there has to be some kind of connection. The Small Business Administration, which administers...
You know somebody? Do you know somebody? I give you 300. I give you 300. I give you 300. Just bring me somebody else who want 20 bands. 20 bands. But they gonna get 15. You know what I'm saying? And then I'm gonna take the 300 out my 5,000 to pay you, so we can get them to file. Okay? No problem.
The program concedes it is, quote, vulnerable to fraud. It says it investigates all suspicious claims, quote. The agency isn't able to provide a time frame on the resolution of many of these identity theft complaints. The SBA encourages anyone suspecting fraud or misuse of relief programs to report them. Reporting in Braddock, Andy Sheehan, KDKA News.
Oh my God! So let's just take a look at this. Let's take a look at this for a second. So there's a couple of things. There's a couple of things that could be going on. Now, clearly, to have that many people do the exact same thing in around the same area, it would lead someone to believe that there's some sort of organized effort, right? Someone is going around and telling people, hey, there's an easy way that I can get you almost $20,000. All you got to do is do this. We'll sign you up. You get the $20,000. I'll take a fee off, what I can get you.
Exactly. So that'll be the $300 man hooking up the $5,000 man for the $20,000 plan. Y'all get it. So you got the one that's connected to the two, and they just want the 5, and then get you in the system and mess your name up for the 20, but they taking 5 out the 20, and then they gonna pay you 3 out of the 5 for you just giving them some information. So you're like, that's a quick 300. Thanks.
Get you. Now, what I think may happen is, and it's very similar to the scam that I talked about earlier with the Detroit rappers. So if you have not seen that video of the Detroit rappers tax scam, make sure that you go back into my videos and check that out. But this is potentially what could be happening. You could have some people who think that they're smarter than the system, and they could be going around the neighborhood saying, hey, I've got a great way where you can get some money, I can get some money, and I can make sure that it doesn't come back on you. Give me your information. I'll apply for a PPP loan for you to get you $20,000, or maybe really probably get you $10,000 or $15,000, and I'll take the rest of it as my fee. And then if the government was to come back on you and say that, this was a fraud,
you ain't got to pay
you can
it
just
back.
claim that someone stole your identity, because it's I doubt it. I doubt that this is 100% a fraud on everybody's case. Maybe some people got tricked, but everybody didn't get tricked. This is too much of a organized effort for everyone to claim the victim and say that they got tricked. What could be happening is they'll say, hey, It looks like there's too many people getting these loans. There's no way that the government's going to check everything out. So don't worry about it. They'll forgive the loan. That could be one thing. The second thing is they could say, even if the government was to come back on you and say that you weren't supposed to get this loan, just tell them that someone stole your identity. That could be the second part. But I'm telling you, if anyone who's watched the first 48 hours or anything like that, you know that people talk. This isn't a mob movie where someone's just going to, go to jail and not snitch. There's going to be a whole lot of snitching going on, right?
Oh, yeah.
This isn't that complicated of a scheme. Someone's going to snitch, and then the whole thing is going to blow up. So please, pocket watchers out there, if someone is coming to you telling you that there is this new COVID relief program where we can get you.
Well, I heard enough, people. Y'all hear there's a whole lot of scamming going on. So, watch out, people. So, it's your boy Mullah. This week after F5, I'll be back for another one with another one. And I'm still waiting on my PPP money, man. Well, I'm out of here. We'll be back with another one. Bow.